You can't come in looking like that." My daughter's fiancé blocked the entrance to the country club, his hand flat against my chest. "This is a high-class venue. We have standards." Behind him, through the glass doors, I could see white tablecloths and ice sculptures. My daughter's wedding, the one I'd written the check for 3 months ago, $47,000. He looked at my work boots, my jeans. "Honestly, you look like a homeless beggar. Use the service entrance if you need to drop something off." Then he shut the door, locked it. I stood there on the marble steps, the ones I'd paid for people to walk up, and smiled. Because what Brandon didn't know was that I didn't just write the check. I wrote it to someone I'd known for 32 years, and I had his personal cell phone in my pocket. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. The invitation had arrived 4 months earlier. Cream cardstock with gold lettering. "Emily Sullivan and Brandon Whitmore request the honor of your presence." I'd run my thumb over the embossed letters. My daughter. Getting married at Riverside Country Club, the same place where Martha and I had celebrated our 25th anniversary before the cancer took her. I called Emily that night. "Congratulations, sweetheart." "Thanks, Dad." She sounded distracted. "Listen, I need to talk to you about something." Here it comes, I thought. "What is it?" "The wedding. It's going to be expensive." I was 71, retired from the postal service after 43 years. I lived alone in the house Martha and I had bought in 1978. 3 bedrooms, paid-off, quiet neighborhood. My pension covered everything I needed. "How expensive?" I asked. "Well, Brandon wants Riverside. You know, the country club. It's where his parents got married." I knew Riverside. I also knew what it cost. I'd looked into having Martha's memorial there before I realized they wanted $15,000 just for the venue rental. "And Brandon's parents?" I asked. "His dad's business is going through some restructuring. They can't really contribute right now." Restructuring. That's what people called it when they'd over-leveraged themselves buying a second vacation home. "So you're asking me to pay for it?" "Dad, you're my only parent now. Brandon's parents would help if they could, but..." "How much, Emily?" $47,000. That covers the venue, catering, flowers, photographer, everything. Brandon found a wedding planner who can do it all as a package. I'd been sitting at the kitchen table, the oak one I'd built in my garage 30 years ago. Same table where I'd helped Emily with her algebra homework, where Martha and I had eaten dinner every night for decades. "That's a lot of money," I said. "I know. But Dad, this is my wedding, my one wedding. Mom would want me to have something beautiful." There it was, the mom card. Emily knew exactly how to play it. "Let me think about it," I said. "The venue books up a year in advance. We need to put down a deposit by Friday, or we lose the date." I thought about it for 2 days. Looked at my savings account. The number that represented 43 years of working 6 days a week, driving the same route, eating packed lunches, $140,000. It was supposed to be enough to last me the rest of my life if I was careful. $47,000 was a third of everything I had. But Emily was my only child, and Martha had died before she could see her daughter get married. I called Emily on Thursday. "I'll do it," she screamed. Actually screamed into the phone. "Oh my God, Dad, thank you. Brandon will be so excited." Not, "I'm so excited." Brandon will be so excited. "I need to talk to the venue directly," I said. "To arrange payment." "Oh, Brandon's already handling all that. Just write the check to him and he'll take care of everything." "Emily, I'm not writing a $47,000 check to your fiancé. I'll pay the venue directly." Silence. Then, "Dad, Brandon's the one coordinating with the wedding planner. It'll be easier if..." "I'm paying the venue directly or I'm not paying at all." More silence. "Fine. I'll have Brandon send you the contact information." The email came the next day. From Brandon, not Emily. Just a name, Riverside Country Club, and a phone number. "No, thank you. No, we appreciate this. Just information, like I was a vendor he needed to coordinate with." I called the number. A woman answered. "Riverside Country Club, this is Patricia." "Hi, Patricia. My name is Harold Mitchell. My daughter is getting married at your venue in September. Emily Sullivan? Oh yes, the Sullivan-Whitmore wedding. We're so excited to host it. I'm handling the payment. Can you walk me through what that looks like? Of course. The total package is $47,000. We require a 50% deposit to hold the date, with the remainder due 2 weeks before the event. And the deposit goes directly to you? To the club? Yes, sir. We'll send you an invoice with our banking information. Something in her voice, warm, professional, genuine, made me ask, Patricia, how long have you worked at Riverside? 18 years. I'm the events director. Do you know a man named Robert Chen? He was the general manager back in the 90s. Robert? Of course. He's the owner now. Bought the club in 2003. My chest loosened. Is he around? I'd love to say hello. He's actually here today. Hold on. 2 minutes later. Harold Mitchell? Is this the Harry Mitchell who used to deliver mail to my house? I smiled. Hello, Robert. Good God, man. It's been, 15 years? Something like that. How's Linda? She's good. Still trying to get me to retire. You? I did retire 5 years ago. And Martha? She passed 3 years ago. Cancer. Harry, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. We talked for 20 minutes, caught up on life, kids, grandkids he had, and grandkids I didn't have yet. Finally, I said, Listen, my daughter's getting married at your club in September. I'm paying for it. Emily Sullivan? I saw the booking. Harry, that's wonderful. I wanted to make sure the payment goes directly to you, not through anyone else. There was a pause. Of course. We don't accept third-party payments anyway. Everything goes directly through the club. Good. I'll wire the deposit today. Harry, before you do, this is a big wedding. Expensive. If you need to work out a payment plan, I can afford it. Barely. But I can afford it. Okay. Just know if you need anything, you call me directly. I'll make sure your daughter's wedding is perfect. I wired $23,500 that afternoon. Got a receipt with Riverside Country Club's letterhead and Robert's signature. I called Emily that night. Deposits paid. Thanks, Dad. Distracted again. I could hear Brandon in the background saying something about centerpieces. Emily, make sure you tell Brandon the payment went directly to the club, not through him. Sure, Dad. Listen, I have to go. We're meeting with the florist. She hung up. I should have known then. Should have heard it in her voice. The distance. The way she said, thanks, like I'd picked up groceries for her, not just paid for the most expensive day of her life. But I didn't want to see it. Didn't want to admit that my daughter, the little girl who used to fall asleep on my chest while I read her stories, had become someone who treated me like an ATM with a pulse. The next 3 months were planning. Emily called twice. Once to ask if I'd wear a tuxedo. Brandon really wants all the men in tuxedos, Dad. And once to confirm I'd walk her down the aisle. Of course I'm walking you down the aisle, I said. I'm your father. I know, it's just, Brandon's dad wanted to do a speech about family unity, and Brandon thought maybe they could walk on one side of me and you could walk on the other. No. Dad, your mother and I raised you. Your mother and I paid for your college. Your mother sat with you through every breakup and every heartbreak. I'm walking you down that aisle alone, or you're walking yourself. Silence. Then, okay. That was July. I didn't hear from her again until 2 weeks before the wedding, when she texted, Reminder, wedding is at 2 p.m. Try to get there by 1:30 for photos. Try to get there, like I might forget, like I might not show up to my own daughter's wedding. I texted back, I'll be there at 1. No response. I bought a new suit, navy blue, tailored. Cost me $800 I didn't really want to spend, but I wanted to look good in the photos. Wanted Emily to be proud of me standing next to her. I got my shoes shined, got a haircut. Even bought new glasses because my old frames were bent. The morning of the wedding, I laid everything out on my bed. The suit, white shirt, the tie Martha had bought me for our 40th anniversary, silver cufflinks that had been my father's. I got dressed slowly, carefully, looked at. Myself in the mirror. 71 years old. Still had most of my hair, even if it was gray. Still stood straight. Martha used to say I looked distinguished. I hope she's happy, I said to the empty room. To Martha, maybe. To myself. I hope this is worth it. I drove to Riverside. 30-minute drive through suburbs that had gotten nicer over the years. Big houses, manicured lawns, the kind of neighborhood where people had gardeners and cleaning services. The country club sat on 15 acres. White columns, brick facade, circular driveway with a fountain in the middle. I'd been here twice before, once for my anniversary with Martha, once for a retirement party for another postal worker. I pulled into the parking lot at 1:15. Early, because I'd learned a long time ago that early was on time and on time was late. I grabbed the gift from my passenger seat. A card with a check inside. $5,000. Money I really couldn't afford to give, but I wanted Emily to have something to start her life with, something beyond the wedding I'd already paid for. I walked up the marble steps, wide steps, white marble, with brass railings. Through the glass doors I could see the lobby. Chandeliers, more marble, white and gold everywhere. I reached for the door handle. It opened before I could grab it. Brandon stood there. Emily's fiancé, 28 years old, sandy hair styled with too much product, wearing a tuxedo that probably cost more than my suit. He looked me up and down. His expression changed, shifted from neutral to something else, something cold. "Can I help you?" he said. "Brandon, it's me, Harry, Emily's father." He didn't move, just stood there blocking the doorway. "The wedding's not open to the public," he said. I laughed, thought he was joking. I know, I'm the father of the bride. You can't come in looking like that. The laugh died in my throat. "What?" He gestured at my clothes. "This is a high-class venue. We have standards. You're wearing—" He paused, looked at my feet. "Are those work boots?" I looked down, at the shoes I'd had shined 2 days ago. Black leather dress shoes, the ones I'd worn to Martha's funeral. "These are dress shoes," I said. "They look like work boots. And those jeans—" "Brandon, I'm wearing a suit." "That's not a suit. That's something you'd wear to a job interview at Walmart." I felt heat rising in my chest. "I'm Emily's father. I paid for this wedding. Let me in." "Honestly?" He leaned against the door frame. Casual, like we were discussing the weather. "You look like a homeless beggar. This is Emily's special day. I can't have you embarrassing her in front of our guests." Behind him, through the glass, I saw Emily, my daughter, in her white dress, talking to a photographer. "Emily!" I called. She didn't turn around, didn't hear me, or didn't want to hear me. "Use the service entrance if you need to drop something off," Brandon said. He gestured toward the side of the building. "Go!" "Around back. Kitchen doors open." "I'm not going through the service entrance. You're making a scene." His voice dropped, quiet, threatening. "Security's right inside. You want me to call them?" My hands curled into fists. 71 years old, but I'd worked loading docks before the Postal Service. I still had strength in these hands. "Call Emily," I said. "Right now. Call her out here. She's busy. She's getting married. She doesn't have time to deal with—" He waved his hand at me. "This. Brandon, I'm warning you." "You're warning me?" He laughed. "Old man, I could have security here in 10 seconds. You'll be on the ground in 15. Is that how you want to spend your daughter's wedding, getting arrested for trespassing?" He stepped back, inside, into the lobby. Then he shut the door. I heard the deadbolt slide. I stood there, on the marble steps, the steps I'd paid for people to walk up, staring at my own reflection in the glass door. Inside, Brandon walked away, didn't look back. I tried the door. Locked. Knocked. No one came. I could see people moving around inside, men in tuxedos, women in dresses. The wedding party. Emily's friends. Brandon's family. No one looked at me. I walked around the side of the building, past the perfectly trimmed hedges, past the garden where they do the photos, found the service entrance. A metal door propped open with a brick. I could smell food cooking, could hear staff shouting in Spanish. I stood at that door for 30 seconds. Then I turned around, walked back to my truck, sat in the driver's seat with my hands on the steering wheel. My phone was in my pocket. I pulled it out, found Robert's number, the one he'd given me 3 months ago when we'd talked, when he'd told me to call if I needed anything. I almost didn't call. Almost started the engine and drove home. Almost walked away from my daughter's wedding and never looked back. But then I thought about Martha, about how she'd saved for 3 years to buy me those cufflinks I was wearing, about how she'd worked double shifts at the diner when Emily was little so we could afford to put her in dance classes, about how Martha had died believing that Emily would be okay, that I'd taken care of our daughter, that Emily would take care of me when I got old. I called Robert. He answered on the second ring. "Harry?" "Robert, I need your help." "What's wrong? You sound—" "I'm at the club, at Emily's wedding. Her fiancé just locked me out." Silence. "He what?" "Locked me out. Said I look like a homeless beggar. Told me to use the service entrance." "Harry, where are you right now?" "Parking lot. In my truck." "Stay there. I'm in the office. I'll be down in 2 minutes." He hung up. I sat there, watching the entrance, counting seconds. 94 seconds later, Robert came through the front doors, moving fast. He was 65, gray hair, reading glasses hanging from his neck, wearing a polo shirt, with the Riverside logo. He scanned the parking lot, saw my truck, walked over. I got out. "Jesus Christ, Harry." He looked me up and down. "You look fine. You look better than fine. Is that a new suit?" "Bought it for today." "Show me what happened." We walked to the entrance, up those marble steps. Robert tried the door. Locked. He pulled out a key, unlocked it. We went inside. The lobby was full now. 50, 60 people, standing around with champagne glasses. The wedding party in the corner, taking photos by the grand staircase. Robert scanned the room. "Which one's Brandon?" I pointed. Brandon was standing with 3 other men in tuxedos, all of them young, polished, holding drinks, laughing about something. Robert walked over. I followed. "Brandon Whitmore?" Brandon turned, smile on his face. "Yes? Can I help you?" "I'm Robert Chen. I own this club." The smile flickered. "Oh, hello. The venue looks beautiful. My fiancé and I really appreciate—" "Did you lock Harold Mitchell out of this building 15 minutes ago?" The smile died. Brandon glanced at me, then back to Robert. "I'm sorry. Who?" "Harold Mitchell, father of the bride. The man who paid for your wedding." "Oh." Brandon's face rearranged itself. Concerned now, apologetic. "There was a misunderstanding. A gentleman tried to enter through the front, but he wasn't properly dressed. I thought he's wearing a suit. It's not formal attire. This is a black tie event. Your invitation said cocktail attire. I approved it." Brandon blinked. "Well, yes, but we decided to upgrade. You told him he looked like a homeless beggar." The 3 friends had stopped talking, started looking uncomfortable. One of them took a step back. "I didn't. That's not exactly what I said." "You told him to use the service entrance." Brandon's jaw tightened. "Look, I was trying to protect Emily's special day. This is a high-end venue. We have guests here who are important to my family's business connections. I can't have—" "Can't have what?" Robert's voice went quiet. "Dangerous. I can't have someone who looks like—" Brandon gestured at me, at my suit, my shoes, like he just came from a construction site. "Get out!" Brandon's face went white. "What?" "You have 60 seconds to collect your belongings and leave my property." "You can't be serious. This is my wedding." "It's not your wedding. You didn't pay for it. Harold did." Robert crossed his arms. "And I don't allow people to disrespect my guests, especially not guests who've been friends of mine for 30 years. We have a contract. Read Section 7, Paragraph 3. The club reserves the right to cancel any event for violations of our dignity and respect policy. You violated it. 45 seconds. One of Brandon's friends touched his arm. "Brandon, maybe we should—" Brandon shook him off. "You can't do this. Do you know who my father is?" "I know exactly who your father is. I know he defaulted on his membership dues 18 months ago. 30 seconds. Brandon turned, looking for someone. Emily! Emily, get over here! My daughter turned, saw us, saw the expression on Brandon's face. She came over, white dress trailing behind her. Hair perfect, makeup perfect. What's going on? She asked. Your father's friend is kicking me out, Brandon said. He's canceling the wedding. Emily looked at me, then at Robert. What? Why? Robert said. Your fiancé locked your father out of the building, called him a homeless beggar, told him to use the service entrance. Emily's face went through several expressions: confusion, disbelief, then something else, something I didn't want to see. Calculation. Dad, she turned to me. What are you wearing? My chest tightened. A suit. Brandon told you tuxedo. I called you about it. You said Brandon wanted tuxedos. I said I'd wear a suit. You said, okay. I said, she stopped, closed her eyes. Dad, this is not the time. We have 200 guests arriving in 40 minutes. Can you please can you go change? There's a men's warehouse 10 minutes from here. They do rentals. Emily, your fiancé locked me out of your wedding. Because you're not dressed appropriately. The lobby had gone quiet. People had stopped talking, started watching. I paid $47,000 for this wedding, I said. Quiet, calm. I'm dressed fine. You look like... Emily glanced at Brandon, then back to me. Dad, you're embarrassing me. There it was, the thing I'd been afraid of. The thing I'd known was coming but didn't want to believe. I'm embarrassing you. Yes, you are, on my wedding day. I looked at my daughter, at the woman who used to sit on my shoulders at the park, who used to make me tea when Martha was sick, who'd cried in my arms when her first boyfriend broke her heart. Okay, I said. Robert said, Harry, it's okay. I looked at him. Thank you for trying. I can still cancel this. No, it's her wedding. Let her have it. I turned to leave. Dad, wait. Emily's voice behind me. You're still walking me down the aisle, right? I stopped, didn't turn around. Service entrance is around back, I said. I'll use that. I walked out. Behind me, I heard Brandon say something. Heard Emily respond. Couldn't make out the words. Didn't want to. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, staring at nothing, hands shaking. The gift was still on the passenger seat. The card with the $5,000 check inside. I picked it up, tore it in half, put the pieces in the glove compartment. Then I drove home. The house was quiet. Same house I'd lived in for 45 years. Same furniture. Same pictures on the walls. Pictures of Emily, birthday parties, school plays, high school graduation, college graduation, Emily and Martha, Emily and me. I sat at the kitchen table, the oak one I'd built, pulled out my phone. My banking app showed the transactions. $23,500 on June 15th. Deposit, $23,500 on August 20th. Final payment, $47,000 total. I scrolled back, looked at other transactions. $12,000 on March 3rd, 2021. Emily's car down payment, the Honda she'd needed when her old car died. $8,500 on November 18th, 2020. Security deposit and first month's rent when she'd moved to her apartment. $3,200 on June 4th, 2020. Emergency root canal. Her dental insurance hadn't covered it. $15,000 on May 30th, 2019. Credit card debt. She'd been crying on the phone. Said she couldn't make the minimum payments anymore. I kept scrolling. The transfers went back years, some big, some small, all adding up. $850 here, $640 there, $1,200, $2,100. Groceries, utilities, car insurance. Just until I get my bonus, Dad. Just until I catch up. Just this once. It had never been just once. I pulled out a notepad, started writing, adding, the wedding, the car, the apartment, the dental work, the credit cards, the monthly transfers that had somehow become expected. It took me an hour to count it all. $127,000. $127,000 over 6 years, not counting the college tuition I'd paid, not counting the 18 years of food, clothes, shelter, love. Just the adult Emily. The Emily who'd gotten a job and an apartment and a life. The Emily who was supposed to be independent. $127,000. And I'd gotten, what? 2 phone calls that weren't asking for money. Both times she'd been drunk. Called me after midnight crying about Brandon, about how he worked too much, about how she felt alone. I'd listened, told her it would be okay, told her she deserved to be happy. 3 visits. Once for Christmas 2 years ago, once for my birthday last year, once to introduce me to Brandon. Each visit lasted less than 2 hours. No calls on Father's Day. Text messages. Same text message 3 years in a row. Happy Father's Day. Love you. With a heart emoji. When Martha died, Emily came to the funeral, left immediately after, said she had to get back to work. Couldn't take more than 1 day off. I'd sat at the funeral home until they closed. By myself, looking at pictures of my wife. Emily's friend Jenna had stayed with me, a girl Emily had known since middle school. Jenna had sat next to me for 3 hours, brought me coffee, held my hand when I cried. Emily had left. I set down the pen, looked at the number. $127,000. The wedding was happening right now, right this moment. Emily was probably walking down the aisle. Maybe she'd asked Brandon's father to do it. Maybe she'd walked alone. I didn't care. My phone rang. Robert, I answered. Hello? Harry, the wedding's over. Happened about an hour ago. Good. Emily's asking where you are. I'm home. She wants to know if you're coming to the reception. I laughed. Actually laughed. No, Harry. Robert, thank you for what you tried to do today. I mean that. But I'm done. Done with what? All of it. Silence. Then, you want to get dinner? I'm leaving the club now. We could meet somewhere. I'm not good company right now. I don't care. 30 minutes. That Italian place on Riverside Drive. The one that used to be a pizza shop. He hung up before I could say no. I sat there for 10 more minutes. Then I changed out of my suit, put on jeans, actual jeans this time, and a flannel shirt. Drove to the restaurant. Robert was already there, sitting at a corner booth. 2 glasses of wine on the table. I slid into the seat across from him. You look more comfortable, he said. I am. He pushed one of the wine glasses toward me. It's on me. Thanks. We sat there, not talking, just sitting. The restaurant wasn't busy. Saturday afternoon. Most people were at weddings or birthday parties or family dinners. Finally, Robert said, You want to tell me what happened? The whole story. So I did. All of it. The phone call about the wedding. The $47,000. The years of transfers and loans and emergencies. The math I'd done in my kitchen. Robert listened. Didn't interrupt. When I finished, he said, What are you going to do? Nothing. Nothing? What can I do? She's an adult. She made her choice. Harry, she's your daughter. I know. I drank the wine. But I'm not her ATM anymore. Does she know that? She will. My phone buzzed. Text message. From Emily. Dad, where are you? People are asking. I showed Robert. You going to answer? No. Another text. Dad, seriously. You're being really hurtful right now. Then another. I can't believe you would just leave like that. Everyone was asking where you were. Robert read them over my shoulder. That son of a... It's fine. It's not fine. Robert, I appreciate you being angry on my behalf. But I'm tired. I'm just tired. We ate dinner. Chicken parmesan for both of us. Talked about other things. His grandkids. His retirement plans. The time we'd both gone fishing 20 years ago and hadn't caught anything. Normal things. Good things. When the check came, Robert grabbed it. Let me pay, I said. Absolutely not. You've paid enough for 1 day. I drove home as the sun was setting. The house was dark. I hadn't left any lights on. I went inside, turned on one lamp in the living room, sat down in my chair. Martha's chair was next to mine, empty for 3 years. My phone kept buzzing. Text after text. From Emily. Dad, this is so unfair. You're ruining my wedding day. Call me back right now. From a number I didn't recognize. Mr. Mitchell, this is Brandon. I think we need to have a conversation about your behavior today. I turned off my phone, sat in the quiet house, thought about Martha, about what she would say if she could see this. She'd be heartbroken, but she'd also be honest. Harry, she'd say, you taught Emily that money equals love. You taught her that you'd always catch her. That's on you too. She'd be right, but knowing that didn't make it hurt less. I sat there until it was fully dark outside, until the only light was the lamp next to me and the glow from the kitchen clock. Then I went to bed. Didn't sleep much. Kept thinking about the wedding, about Emily walking down the aisle, about whether she'd even noticed I was gone. Sunday morning came. Gray sky, rain threatening. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, turned on my phone. 17 missed calls. 23 text messages, all from Emily, none from Brandon. The messages got progressively angrier. Dad, you have to call me. People are asking where you were at the reception. I can't believe you abandoned me. Mom would be so disappointed in you. That last one made me laugh. Bitter, sharp laugh that hurt my chest. Mom would be disappointed in me. I set down the phone, picked up the notepad where I'd written the numbers yesterday. $127,000. I thought about something Robert had said at dinner. What are you going to do? What was I going to do? I picked up my phone, called my bank. First National, this is Kevin speaking. Hi, Kevin. I need to make some changes to my accounts. Of course, sir. Can I have your account number? I gave it to him. And what changes would you like to make? I need to remove someone from my authorized contacts list. I'd added Emily 6 years ago, when Martha got sick and I'd needed someone who could access the accounts if something happened to me. Emily had been responsible then, caring. Who would you like to remove? Emily Sullivan. Okay, just to confirm, this means she will no longer be able to receive information about your accounts or make transfers? That's correct. Done. Anything else? Yes. I need to set up alerts, text alerts for any transaction over $50. We can do that. What number should we use? I gave him my cell phone. All set, Mr. Mitchell. Is there anything else I can help you with? No, thank you. I hung up, sat there looking at my phone. Then I called my lawyer, guy named Tom Brewster who'd handled Martha's estate. Good man, competent. Harry, good to hear from you. How are you doing? I've been better, Tom. I need to update my will. Okay. What changes do you want to make? Everything that's currently going to Emily. I want to redirect. Pause. Redirect where? I don't know yet. Charity. Jenna Marcus. She's Emily's friend from high school. She stayed with me at Martha's funeral. Harry, are you sure about this? Big decisions shouldn't be made when you're upset. I'm not upset. I'm done. Want to tell me what happened? So I told him. Short version this time. When I finished, Tom was quiet for a moment. Then, I can draft the changes, but I'd recommend you sit on this for 30 days. If you still feel the same way in 30 days, we'll make it official. Fine, 30 days. And Harry, I'm sorry. That's a hell of a thing to go through. Yeah, I hung up. The doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Emily, jeans and a wrinkled t-shirt. Makeup smudged, like she'd cried it off and hadn't bothered to wash her face. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Brandon was standing behind her, arms crossed, face hard. I opened the door. Dad! Emily's voice cracked. We need to talk. Okay. Can we come in? No. She blinked. What? You can talk from there. Dad, I just drove over here. I'm not standing on your porch. Then you can leave? Brandon stepped forward. Mr. Mitchell, with all due respect, you don't get to talk. Not after yesterday. His jaw tightened. I was protecting my wife's special day. Your wife. I looked at Emily. You married him? Of course I married him. Dad, what is wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me. You missed my wedding. You missed the whole thing. No, I was there. Your husband locked me out. Because you weren't dressed right. I paid for that wedding, Emily. Every cent. And your husband locked me out and called me a homeless beggar. Brandon said, I didn't call you that. I said you looked like... You said exactly that. And you told me to use the service entrance. Emily wiped her eyes. Mascara came off on her hand. Dad, can we please just... Can we talk about this inside? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. The wedding was yesterday, and we had to deal with everyone asking where you were. Tell them the truth. Tell them I wasn't dressed appropriately for the wedding I paid for. Dad! What do you want, Emily? She looked at Brandon. He nodded at her, encouraging. She looked back at me. I want to know if you're serious. About what? The bank called this morning. Said you removed me from your accounts. That's right. Why would you do that? Because you're married now. You have a husband. You don't need access to my money. That's not... Dad, I had that access in case of emergency, in case something happened to you. Nothing's going to happen to me, Brandon said. Mr. Mitchell, I think you're overreacting. Yesterday was a misunderstanding. Emily and I would like to move forward, put this behind us. I looked at him, really looked at him. 28 years old, expensive suit, hair perfect even after his wedding day. He looked soft, entitled, like someone who'd never missed a meal in his life. You humiliated me, I said. In front of your entire family, in front of my daughter, you locked me out of a wedding I paid $47,000 for. I made a judgment call. You made a choice. And now I'm making mine. Emily said, What does that mean? It means I'm done giving you money. Silence. Dad, you don't mean that. I do. What if we have an emergency? You're married now. Your husband can handle emergencies. Brandon's face flushed. With all due respect, sir, Emily and I had an understanding with you. A financial arrangement. No, we didn't. The wedding was just the start. We're planning to buy a house next year. We were counting on you for the down payment. Then you're going to be disappointed. Emily grabbed my arm. Dad, please, please don't do this. I'm sorry about yesterday. Brandon's sorry. Right, Brandon? Brandon didn't say anything. Brandon! Emily turned to him. I'm not apologizing for maintaining standards, Brandon said. But I'll accept his apology if it means we can move forward. My apology. I started to laugh. Couldn't help it. You want me to apologize? You made a scene. You upset Emily on her wedding day. Yes, I think an apology would be appropriate. I looked at Emily. You agree with this? She didn't meet my eyes. Dad, you did kind of make things difficult. I showed up in a suit to the wedding I paid for. Your husband locked me out. And you want me to apologize? I want my father back. She was crying now. I want things to go back to normal. Normal. I nodded. Normal is you calling twice a year. Normal is me writing checks. Normal is me being useful but not present. That normal? That's not fair. Emily, when's the last time you asked how I was doing? Not, do you have money for this or can you help with that? When's the last time you asked how I was? She opened her mouth, closed it. You don't remember, because you didn't. Not once in 3 years, not after your mother died, not on my birthday, not ever. That's not... I've been busy. I know. Too busy to call. Not too busy to cash checks. Brandon grabbed her hand. Come on, Emily. We don't need this. We don't need him. She pulled away. Dad, please. I love you. I'm sorry. Can we please just... Emily, I love you too. But I'm not your bank anymore. You need money, you ask your husband. You need help, you ask your husband. You want a relationship with me, you'll have to build one that doesn't start with Dad. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. She stared at me. Mascara running down her face. Wedding dress dirty at the hem. For a second she looked like the little girl she used to be. The one who'd skin her knee and run to me crying. But that little girl was gone. Had been gone for a long time. I just hadn't wanted to see it. "If you do this," she said quietly, "if you cut me off, I won't forgive you." "Okay. I'm serious. We'll be done." "I understand." She waited, like she expected me to change my mind, to cave, to say I was sorry and write another check. I didn't. Brandon tugged her hand. "Let's go." She let him lead her away, down the porch steps, to their car, a BMW. I wondered who'd made the payments on that. They drove away. I closed the door, stood in my entryway, in the house I'd lived in for 45 years. The house that was paid off. That was mine. That had my name on the deed. The house I'd almost signed over to Emily 2 years ago when she'd asked. "For estate planning, Dad, so you don't have to worry about it." I'd come within hours of doing it. Tom had talked me out of it. "Harry, you sign this house over now. You're vulnerable. If something happens with Emily, if she gets divorced or has debt problems, this house could get caught up in it. Wait until you're gone. Let the will handle it." I'd listened to Tom. Reluctantly. Emily had been disappointed but hadn't pushed. Now I knew why. She'd wanted the house, wanted to add it to her assets, wanted to sell it probably when I died or move to a nursing home. Significant equity sitting idle, Brandon had probably told her. We could optimize this. My phone rang. "Robert." "Hey," I answered. "I heard Emily came by." "How did you—" "I have cameras on the club's perimeter. Saw her car leave yesterday right after the reception. She was heading in your direction. Did she show up?" "Yeah, with Brandon." "How'd it go?" "About how you'd expect." "You okay?" Was I okay? "I don't know," I said honestly. "You want company? I can bring lunch." "Robert, you don't have to—" "I know, I want to. Give me an hour." He hung up. I sat down, looked around my living room, at the pictures on the walls, at Martha's chair. My phone buzzed. Text from Emily. "I hope you're happy. You just lost your only daughter." I stared at it. Then I deleted it. Robert showed up with sandwiches and beer. We sat at my kitchen table, the oak one I'd built. "You did the right thing," he said. "Doesn't feel like it." "It never does. Not at first." We ate in silence for a while. Then Robert said, "Linda wants to invite you over for dinner, next Sunday, if you're interested." "I don't want to be a charity case." "You're not. You're a friend who's having a rough time. Let us help." I nodded. "Okay. And Harry, you need to find something to do. Something for yourself. You've spent the last 45 years taking care of other people. Time to take care of you." "I don't know what that looks like." "Figure it out. You've got time." He left an hour later. I cleaned up the dishes, threw away the sandwich wrappers, sat back down at the table, thought about what Robert had said. Find something for yourself. What did I want? I'd wanted to be a good father, to give Emily everything I didn't have growing up, to make sure she never struggled the way Martha and I had. I'd done that, and somewhere along the way, she'd learned to expect it, to demand it, to treat me like an obligation, not because she was cruel, because I'd taught her to. "You taught her that money equals love," Martha would have said. "That's on you too." Yeah, it was on me, but it was also on Emily. At some point, kids become adults. At some point, they're responsible for their own choices. Emily had made her choice yesterday, had stood there while Brandon locked me out, had chosen him over me. Now I was making my choice. My phone buzzed again. Another text, from the same number Brandon had used yesterday. "Mr. Mitchell, this is Brandon. I think we need to discuss your behavior. You're destroying your relationship with your daughter out of pride. Is that really what Martha would have wanted? I'm trying to help Emily rebuild this, but you're making it impossible." I stared at that, using Martha's name, trying to guilt me with my dead wife, gaslighting me into thinking protecting myself was the problem. I texted back, "Don't contact me again." Then I blocked the number, blocked Emily's number too, sat there looking at my phone, at the empty contacts list. I had Robert's number, Tom's number, a few old co-workers from the Postal Service. That was it. 71 years old, and my family was gone. My wife was dead. My daughter had chosen her husband over me. I should have felt devastated, should have been crying. Instead, I felt lighter, like I'd been carrying something heavy for a long time and had finally set it down. The next few weeks were quiet. I kept expecting Emily to call, to text, to show up at my door again. She didn't. Robert invited me to dinner. Linda made pot roast and told stories about their grandkids. Asked if I wanted to come to their grandson's soccer game next weekend. I said yes. Tom called to check in. Asked if I still wanted to change the will. Yeah, I said. I'm sure. Okay. Come by the office next week and we'll make it official. I went to the soccer game. Sat next to Robert and Linda. Watched a bunch of 7-year-olds run around not really understanding the rules. It was nice. Linda introduced me to some of their friends, other couples in their 60s, retired, kids grown. One woman, Patricia, I think her name was, asked if I played bridge. I don't know how, I said. We can teach you. We meet every Thursday night. So I started playing bridge. Learned the rules. Wasn't very good at first, but got better. Met more people. Started having conversations that weren't about money or favors or what someone needed from me. Started living. 2 months after the wedding, I got a letter in the mail. From Emily. Handwritten. 4 pages. I sat at the kitchen table. Held it for a long time before opening it. The letter started with Dad. Went on to say she was sorry, that she'd had time to think, that Brandon's behavior was unacceptable, that she should have stood up for me, that she wanted to rebuild our relationship, that she wasn't asking for money, just time, just a chance. I read it 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. Didn't respond. Not yet. Maybe eventually. Maybe after I figured out what I wanted from a relationship with my daughter that didn't involve me rescuing her. Or maybe not. For now, I had bridge on Thursdays, soccer games on Saturdays, dinner with Robert and Linda every few weeks. I had a house that was mine, money that was mine, time that was mine. I had a life that didn't revolve around being useful to someone who only called when she needed something. And that was enough. If you like this story, please like it. Subscribe to the channel and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.